The collection of life's imagination. This is how I have chosen to describe the experience and the journey both my brother and I had living with our father and mother, Nelson and Alice Scott. The collection of life's imagination. Sprouting from the vine of rich blood, our parents were born out of what society considers a poor man's pocket. From a sharecropper's son to managing steel mill labor. From the eldest of 10 children to managing multiple Chicago city developments. Our parents were the roses that grew out of the concrete of this nation's most segregated city. They were determined to be heritage builders, so my brother and I would be culture-driven. Our father, Neysa Scott, was raised by sharecroppers. During his young life, he acquired more life skills and positive attributes than most gain before they are young adults. His youthful responsibilities required that he overcome resistance and embrace hard-working values, listening skills, and follow-through commitment. He then was transplanted to Chicago soil for permanent residence when he was 12 years old, and it was a good thing. Our mother, Alice Scott, was the eldest of 10 and was raised in what used to be called a kitchenette. The responsibility of assisting in managing and raising her younger siblings had its downs and its ups. You see, being the eldest, there were times when education came second to home care. However, the maturity and values acquired during her young life well prepared her to become property manager to several of Chicago's housing developments for decades. And it was a good thing. They met in their formative years, were married by age 20, are celebrating their 50th anniversary, and have not yet stopped loving life together. Until recent retirement, they both worked diligently and purposefully to assure family security and set examples for my brother and me with the fruit of labor seed. They were determined to raise children who knew love, sought wisdom, and who embraced and respected their elders and ancestors. Our parents championed their lives, working toward personal excellence. They sought to influence us with the heritage of Africa. They sought to connect us to the magic of the kings and queens who existed before slavery. They sought to bond us with freedom's voice through knowledge and the arts. Our parents were exceptionally conscious about their decisions to surround us with the greatness, the magic, and the ever-unfolding love that flows out of Africa. The same love that carried them both from Mississippi and Arkansas safely to Chicago. They filled our home with Africa's soul, vibration, and inventiveness through music, books, paintings, and sculptures. Music kept the heart of the drums alive in our spirits. We could always hear some sort of rhythm breathing with us. The atmosphere was filled with music, be that jazz, blues, sacred, poetic, classical, or reggae. We were in company with Mahalia and Aretha, Nina and Lena, Sam Cooke and Hera Belafonte, Etta James, Ella Fitzgerald, and Miriam Anderson, even Fela, Scott Joplin, and Oscar Brown Jr. There were books that spoke the truth about our untold stories. Books with words that sounded in our ears. We were there with Gwendolyn Brooks, Sonia Sanchez, Rumi, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and the Prophet. Books that spoke of Masabani, the enslaved free man who overthrew his slave ship. Books that spoke of the revolts of 1792 when Toussaint L'Ouverture led enslaved Africans to freedom and formed Haiti. Books that mentioned the Freedom Journal, the first African-American newspaper. Books that lauded our artistry as a people in all genres. Books and films and documentaries which we produced and we starred in. We were Paul Robeson, James Earl Jones, Hattie McDaniel, Ruby Dee, and Diane Carroll. We were a part of all of these great forces which held a library of information that addressed our experiences through our culture, through our own eyes. Yes, my brother and I lived our lives surrounded by the expression of imagination. Inside every wordless painting, a story was being told. A message was being given by the artist. Young eyes first set upon Charles Bibb's Lady in Red could feel the strength of a sister's inner beauty come to life. Frozen in time and seeing without eyes, the sculptures of Woodrow Nash could penetrate a petrified soul. There for the touch in our home was the imagination of a brother whose rage is beautiful and strong. Frank Frazier, who had once adorned the walls of the Cosby Show, also hung proudly on ours. Romeo Bearden kept lively the maturity of our youth. Archibald Motley reminded us to dance with life. The walls, the floors, and the doors were all full of the art of life. Our parents, their lives, exampled Mary McLeod Bethune's motto, "Be an artist in all that you do." And I believe that art is the collection of life's imagination. I believe that art is the collection of life's imagination. However we imagine ourselves to be will flow directly out of us. Artists create themselves over and over again and again, and collectors collect their imaginations. Mainstream society did not hinder my brother or I's gaining of knowledge in reference to our past. Whether as kings and queens, colored Negroes, blacks, or African Americans, we were housed for decades with archives of the accolades of our people. A people whose art is the manifestation of their triumphs. A people who have gone the distance and journeyed the roads full of gravel. From the cotton fields to the front porches, from Pullman's porters to the White House doors, we are art. They asked, why do Nelson and Alice collect the art of Africa and the African diaspora? Well, here's my answer. They collect because we are a people, and we are a collection of spirits so authentic in the very weaving of life's investment in us, it would almost be a sin not to. They collect because of the children who would not flourish without art. They collect because our art shows life in the fullness of our possibilities. They collect because it is our responsibility to rise with high hopes and bless those ambitious and aspiring young souls that will follow after us. They collect because it is our responsibility to collect ourselves and pass ourselves on to the next generation. They collect our art because it shows the beauty of our blackness. They collect our art because it gives our character courage. Nelson and Alice Scott collect our art because at times, for them and for my brother and I, it has served as a lifter of our spirits.